Hey guys, it's David Patrick Green, DPG here. And here we are at the hold on, the seventh rule of acting. And that rule is that you should get your pictures, your headshots taken by a professional headshot photographer. And I'm here to tell you that not only do you not have to, you should not, especially when you're starting out. But before we get to the explanation of why you don't need to take your own headshots and why you shouldn't take your own headshots, please let me ask you to like this video, share with your fellow actors, and subscribe to my channel. Because when you subscribe, it tells YouTube something major, like this guy might know what he's talking about. And I do know what I'm talking about. So if you would do that, I would appreciate it. Okay, let's get to the video. Why is it that not only do you not have to take your own headshots, but you should not take your own headshots? Because when you are starting out, you don't really know what you look like in a headshot. You don't really know what they're looking for unless you do your homework, which I suggest you do. But since you don't know these things, when you go into a professional headshot photographer's studio, they are not going to give you a lot of guidance. They don't know if you can act. You don't know if you can act. I mean, are you a trained actor, or are you just sort of getting headshots taken before you've even done training? Because headshots are kind of like acting. You need sort of certain looks, and you need to know how you look good and how you look at certain angles and positions. And the way to find all this out before you bother with professional headshot photographers, if you ever bother with them, is to play around with lighting and a camera. So right now, I'm in front of my cell phone camera, which takes pretty darn good pictures. In fact, I have taken every headshot myself probably for 12 years. I think as a professional actor, I have never used professional headshots. I messed around with them in the beginning. I never liked the way they made me look. And so I gave up on them. And then I actually bought my own camera. This is going back 10 years with a little flip screen so I could see how I looked. And I would just take my little light, okay? You see, I take this light. If you have a light, if you don't have a light, don't even worry about it. But I would just move the camera around, okay, like this, okay? So I'm literally trying to find light, and I'm seeing how it's changing. You see how the tone is changing, the background is changing, and I'm trying to get my eyes to show up because my skin is so light. My eyes often are very dark, even though I have very green eyes, which you might be able to see. So I would always be trying to find the position where, I looked the best, kind of what it's all about, right? So that's what you need to do. Right now I've got some pretty good lighting. I would probably take some pictures of this. In fact, I may grab a snapshot from this and throw it up on my online profile. And the other thing you can do is play around with the angles, right? Like I have a small head, but you can't tell that now because of the way the lens changes the shape of things, right? And so if you lean in, it makes your head look bigger. If you lean out, it makes your head look smaller. Like, see, the body is closer, so it looks bigger. And you can also change, you can have the camera above you, or you can have it even. You can do the opposite. You can, look down on the camera. All of these things will change how your headshots look. And yeah, you do need a picture at some point. But honestly, you don't even need a picture to begin with, because as you will have learned in my other rules of acting, you don't even need pictures. In fact, I recommend you don't have any pictures at all to begin with, because it'll force you to meet people in the business. And the easiest people to meet are student filmmakers, the people you will probably be working with early on. And once you're comfortable doing that, you'll be like, this is no big deal. These people are cool, and they're happy to hear from an actor, because they never get to talk to actors because they're always with other directors and producers. So then you'll be like, wow, this was fun and easy. And so now I'm going to do this in the professional world as well, because those same people that, the people that are professionals, directors and producers, they went to film school, and so they were in the shoes of the people you're already becoming friends with. So it ain't no big thing. The only people that are hard to talk to are casting directors and agents. Casting directors expect you to go through an agent, and they think actors are kind of like, they say they love actors, but if you ever try calling a casting director, you'll find out that they're not so receptive. And if you ask for a general meeting with a casting director, they'll probably tell you to, they'll probably call the cops on you. Pretty darn close. And agents are similar, but they need actors a little more, because without actors, they are useless to a casting director. But both of those groups are far harder to talk to because actors grovel to them. Well, if you don't grovel, everybody will talk to you. But if once you get comfortable and you make friends with producers and directors, agents and casting directors will be eating out of your hand. But we're back to the headshots. Why? So what are you going to do? You're just going to play around. Play around. Here, go far away or get close and find out where you look the best. Tilt the camera. I'm not going to do that because it's going to mess up my video. But try the camera vertically. Try it. You can even try angles. Like here. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to look. Probably weird, but this is the whole point of experimentation, right? And go to different locations. Right now, I live in a condo, and I'm in this common area, and I'm shooting out a window, and I've got the it's called portrait mode, which a lot of the phones have now, blurs the background, so it's literally designed for what a headshot does, and here's why you really don't need professional headshots anymore, even if you don't know how to take pictures. Like a pro, is that the technology is so good. Sorry, just fixing, now that you've made me mess up my look, I've got to reconfigure and lock things down again. But, a professional now can't do much better than an amateur can. Like, I went through buying a camera that was a Canon G3 or something, and then I graduated to a G6. That was, the first digital cameras, and they took great pictures, but nothing close to what these cameras can do now. And then I went to cell phone cameras, and honestly, everything I do is based on the perception of the people that make decisions in the business, the producers, directors, even casting directors and agents to a certain extent. But when they look at your headshot to decide if they're going to take you as an actor, right? They look at it, they want printouts. I don't think they ask for those anymore, thank God. But they look at, they may have a huge TV monitor that they're looking at your headshots on, and they may say, oh, these are no good or whatever. But that casting directors are looking at little tiny thumbnail pictures of thousands of actors. So all they're getting is sort of this, right? Like, imagine hundreds and hundreds of pictures all in a row. And what are they doing? They're scanning them, trying to figure out if they recognize anybody. So that's the most important thing. Do they know you? And if they see, oh, David Patrick Green, do you think they then go, let me see if I like his headshot? No. What comes to mind is, what has he done recently that I've seen him in? Oh, he was in Covert Affairs multiple times. He was in ER multiple times. He was in CSI. He was in an X-Men movie. He was in Supergirl. He was in all these projects. So I trust the guy, and he kind of looks like, I think, what we're looking for. And the last few auditions I've seen him in, yeah, he seems okay. He seems maybe right for this. Okay, click. I'm going to choose him. So, but of course, they go through this entire process in about a split second because they've got 1,000 of these things. So even though if I zoom in really closely on this sort of portrait mode, you can actually see little edges along the head and all that stuff. You'll see a little edge because the camera is trying to paste literally what two lenses are doing. It does this effect with two lenses. The first lens is taking the picture of me like that, and then the second lens is taking the picture of the background, and then what it's doing is it's pasting me into the background. Okay, that's literally how it's doing it. What a digital or what an SLR camera would do is the lens is convex, right? And so what's at the middle and in focus, that'll be you. What's at the center once you've focused on that. But because it's convex, all this stuff back here is not in focus. So that's why it's blurred. Okay. So what's at the center of the picture is in focus, and what's in the sides, it gets blurred, but it's replicated on these cool cell phone cameras with multiple lenses. Okay. So anyway, point being, no one can tell the difference. Okay, no one can tell the difference, especially the way they are using them practically and professionally. Can someone tell if they zoom in on my shoulder and see there's a little squiggly edge? Yes, they can, but who cares? And this is where you have to have the confidence in yourself that if your agent or if somebody you're trying to get as an agent says this, you have to say, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you're saying, but I have gotten professional headshots before and I didn't like the results. They looked bad. They didn't get me good results. So I take my own pictures now, or, I have a secret photographer, whatever. And sure, if you zoom in, they may not stand up to, scrutiny, but we know that nobody's zooming in on these things. They're just going, we're looking for a red-haired guy. This guy's got red hair. What has he done? Oh, he's been in a bunch of stuff. Okay, let him submit. Do you think anybody wants to agonize over this crap? Nobody does. It's only when you ask people to agonize over it that they will give you their opinions, right? So what you should do if you have an agent is just take some pictures and send them a few. Or better yet, don't send them to them at all. Just put them up and don't say anything. And then if they have a problem with it, they'll say, I don't like these pictures, which mine has said. And then I go, oh, okay, I'll work on getting some new ones. And when I get the time, I'll just put up some new pictures. But they don't want to spend a lot of time at it either, okay? But if you ask people their opinions, they'll give you their opinions, and then you are now forced to argue with them. It's much better to just put your stuff up, see what happens, and if you don't get results, then change it up because it's all random anyway. Don't trust one person's opinion at all. Like, do not base what you do on one person's opinion. Do what you think is right and then test it out, see what kind of results you get, and then make adjustments. Okay, guys? But this is a bit longer than I wanted to go. But everything, all these other rules that I've been talking about are all based on the same ideas of you've got to do stuff yourself, take responsibility for yourself, don't put it into anybody else's hands, and don't ask people's opinions because what do they know about you, right? You might think they're some expert because they happen to be sitting behind a desk, but they don't know what they're talking about. What's an agent know about how to do? Filling out paperwork. What does a casting director know how to do? They know how to set up auditions. They know how to collect tapes and organize them and then look at the ones they like and send those on to the producers and the directors. Do they know what good acting is? Absolutely not, because it's not for them to decide. The only person that decides what good acting is the person who's hiring the actor. And good acting could mean stiff as a board. It's up to the person who's signing the check, okay? The person who is making the decision. That's the only person who has a real opinion. So if you've got an opinion that you're a good actor, you need to get in front of that person who gets to decide whether you're a good actor. That's it. And I hope you enjoyed this. So please, if you want to work together, get in touch. I'm always putting together groups. I do some occasional one-on-one coaching for special circumstances. But otherwise, listen, if I've sparked some ideas, if there's anything that you want to know, if you have ideas for other videos, put it in the comment section below. What did you think of everything I just said? And second of all, if you want to work together, then get in touch, dpg@davidpatrickgreen.com. And I will talk to you soon.